Hey, we're back. Sorry about last episode. Apparently, what was happening was our audio equipment got kind of beefed it partway through the episode, and because I have a particular variety of brainitis, I'm like, oh wow, the music's going into this weird chiptune thing. I guess there must be some heightened anxiety now, and things must be slowly building to a head. And then no, that was just our headphones were suddenly giving us stuff at the wrong bit rate or something.
I fully believed it throughout, too. I was like, yeah, this seems like a thing that would happen. This
right?
Totally tracks. Until it still affected the title screen when we signed out, and then it affected our own audio track, and then it affected YouTube.
And we're like, okay, maybe this is just a problem that we need to solve. I'm the kind of person who, for no joke, jammed out to what I thought was the most interesting minimalist track for about 40 minutes before realizing that was the silent alarm on some spider wrap that had been taken off some product. I'm like, dang, this is cool. But when did we get this on the in-store play? All right. So maybe I'm a bad barometer of what constitutes good music.
I've definitely grooved to the odd abstract percussion track where I was like, wow, who's playing that? And then I realized it's like a loose sign banging against the wall in the wind or something.
Whenever we go to our LGS, the air unit in there always makes me think, dang, this drone track is going to be hella fire as soon as the drums drop or something. My brain is broken in a particular way. Anyway, back to this.
Yes?
Is Sister Angela with you? I must speak with her.
No, she is not. Come in.
She beckoned me inside, and I obliged without thinking. I realized as soon as she had shut the door that I had just unwittingly stepped into something of a trap.
If this is to do with your investigation, tell me and I will relay it to her.
No, I need to speak with her specifically.
Why is that? Surely anything you can tell the prioress is fit for the superior.
Little cheeky, okay.
I glanced around the room to discover the side bedroom door open. The bishop was still here, seated on the bed, hands folded over his chest. He looked at me with the same apologetic expression he wore every time the superior raised her voice in his presence. Yes, but this has nothing to do with the investigation. Or rather, it is, but only tangentially. Would not want to bother you with it until I've had the chance to, compare notes with Angela.
An excuse I have heard before, I believe. You wouldn't happen to know anything about Angela planning to usurp me, would you?
What? No, what do you mean? The superior's eyes narrowed.
Curious. You two have been working together quite closely. Are you sure you know nothing about this?
I haven't the slightest idea what this is. Sister Angela has her quarrels with you, but I swear to you, I haven't heard anything about any kind of plot to usurp you. I accidentally allowed myself to put a mocking spin on usurp and braced myself for recrimination.
It is a bit of a stretch, Mabel.
He called out from the bedroom.
Sorry.
It is a bit of a stretch, Mabel.
There we go.
My savior.
I trust Sister Moira's judgment. She says Angela has been behaving very strangely recently, and I tend to agree.
Moira is...
Who is part of the inner circle and who we've already been sus of since episode 1.
Yep, has been running to the superior sowing discord about Angela, huh?
That's interesting.
Again, we've already said it, but just to reiterate, it was indeed Catherine with a K who feels like her head is on the chopping block who fed us that list, right?
Yeah.
We should have a baseline level of suspicion about that, but having acknowledged that, yeah, Moira is off doing some sus stuff, huh?
And I can attest to the fact that Angela has been evasive in our recent meetings.
I could guess as to why. I needed to speak to Angela as soon as possible and share what I found in the sacristy. Everyone has been behaving a little out of sorts lately. I think it might be the builders.
They have interrupted your routine.
Yes, thank you, Bishop Richard.
You're right about that.
Can I call you Bishy Dick?
That's fantastic.
Yes, you may, although I don't know what that means.
I can't believe that bishop is short for Bishonen.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
All right, read the superior's line. I accidentally skipped.
You're right about that. Did you know Crispin was in here earlier complaining about finding human remains underneath the old tower's rubble?
Why didn't you warn him?
I must have been absent for that part.
You know, you could come in and join the conversation.
No, this is much more comfortable, but thank you.
Why didn't you warn him? You knew the old soup was under there.
Apparently, it upset some of the men greatly. Some of the more foreign workers refused to do anything for the rest of the day.
Well, why?
Superstition... Oh.
No. You don't want this on your soul. Let me take it.
Superstition is common in some of the darker parts of the world.
Indeed. Anyway, it apparently cut into their schedule.
Every time. Mabel's little side eye. Well, why didn't you warn them? You knew the old soup was under there.
Some of the men wanted to burn the bones, the nasty heathens.
Good lord. I dare say your old superior deserved better than Wycliffe. What happened?
I told him to wrap up the bones, or whatever was left of them, and bring them to me. Then I sent Eustace up the hill to bury them next to the proper grave. Part of her penance for all that trouble in the library.
The previous superior hadn't been properly buried.
We had a burial for her, just, without a body.
So I know it's kind of in context that seems really bad. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, given that, they're not able to move those on their own.
Yeah.
Right? And, I don't... Mabel's got a lot of things she needs to answer for. I don't think the way she handled that is one of them. Right? I think we can all agree that's... Given the circumstances, that's not unreasonable.
Yep, you may as well do your best to try and memorialize the person who passed, and then try and move on and accept your situation.
So the fact that they did still have a memorial and still have a plot, that's very meaningful.
The bishop tutted disapprovingly from the other room.
Tut, tut. Those remains should have been taken care of a long time ago.
A cemetery plot has made me just think the cemetery plot is gotta be a name for a, pretty sick mystery novel. Where someone plots to commit a crime in a cemetery.
I feel like the cemetery plot is actually one of those, cozy mysteries.
You're right, it could also be that.
I feel like that's more of a cozy mystery than, than maybe something with some teeth to it.
What can I say? I'm a sucker for puns. We did what we could, considering she was under God knows how many tons of stone. Anyway, I'm done shouting across the room, Richard.
I'm not.
Get out here, would you?
I heard the bishop sigh. He had been comfortable where he was, it seemed. We are getting rather off topic, I think.
Indeed. Suffice it to say, the builders have interrupted your routine.
A reasonable argument, but I don't know. That can't be all of it. Something feels rather off.
Off? You know, I heard they just announced that's coming to Nintendo Switch. I thought they had given up on supporting an official English language translation, but apparently I'm wrong.
I love that the bishop is constantly just doing this.
Got a cig. Or in between vapes.
I think it's one of those holy hand gestures specifically, because you'll see a gesture kind of like that in some religious art and so on.
Yep.
But it also very much does look like he's smoking an invisible cigarette or hitting an invisible
And it
vape.
looks constantly like his right hand should be halfway in his into his shirt, like he's Napoleon.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not. He doesn't have. His robes don't work like that.
I completely understand, Superior. I have felt it too. But I'm not sure that it has anything to do with Angela specifically. There are strangers working here now. There are new oblates we haven't grown accustomed to. Margaret's father is here and a fire broke out in the library. You could No, they said not to share that with Mabel, so, yeah. I think we might be able to extend a little grace to everyone. It has been a long week. The Superior considered to consider my words carefully.
She's a wise one, Mabel. Perhaps it would be best to try and relax for a change.
It would be a change for me. You've done nothing but relax since you got here.
It's a working holiday, Mabel.
Well, I apologize, Hedwig.
It's not my fault. Whenever I'm not on screen, I'm T-posing just out of camera.
But I have no idea where Angela is. I do expect a report from you two soon.
I will endeavor to have something fruitful to report. The Superior nodded curtly and ushered me back outside. Well then, what now? It was just after midday. I had urgent information to share with Angela, but I had no idea where she was, and I was beginning to feel a bit jumpy, a bit tense.
And also, conveniently, another explanation for Bones partway through this, right?
Yep.
Can I also share one thing that occurred to me?
Yeah.
The last scene where Hetty encountered the goat demon
Yeah?
is very markedly different from the first time, way back in chapter 1. Because in this one, like, back in chapter 1, it was this thing that just kind of moved, like, in wisps of smoke, did this scary thing and suddenly was gone. And then in this chapter, it's much more human in that it's there, it's poking around, it shakes its head, has to duck to get through doors.
Mhm.
You know, it loses her behind a corner, it can't figure out where she's at. Those are some very markedly human traits, not just kind of standing there ineffably or moving like smoke down hallways.
Yeah.
So, that has been on my mind.
What's been getting me has been the whole thing with hiding in the sacristy and then getting out, and then it's right there and immediately goes for you but doesn't get you when you roll aside, has been like, does whoever this is still not want to kill Hedwig?
Yeah, like they want to frighten her for sure. But I don't think they want, because if they wanted to, they would have just stabbed her while she was prone on the floor.
Like it feels like this person noticed that and then chose to step back and give her a fright rather than go for the kill. Though it could be they legitimately did not notice her on the floor in a dark room full of ash and stuck around for some other unrelated reason. But
yeah,
it just feels odd.
Regardless, like there's this very kind of like sparing the way they're handling Hedwig is very strange.
We're here to frighten the daylights out of you, not murder you.
Right. And if this was indeed an agent of Satan, you think they would have no problem just straight up murdering her, right?
Although, come to think of it, some sort of demonic agent of Satan might well not have murder as their primary motive if they're going to get plenty of time with everybody once they make it to hell.
Right. No, we did discuss this last time, and that like playing with their food might be part of it, right?
So if we are indeed in supernatural territory, I can fully believe that a demon would hang around just to make Hedwig's day worse and more confusing and terrifying.
Wouldn't that be so much easier? Wouldn't that be so much easier just to accept that the agents of Satan have done it? Then we can stop thinking, right? All we have to do is accept that it's agents of Satan that are doing these with their unknowable powers. And then everything is explained. We just have to accept what's put before us, Vivian.
This makes me want to write a book that's the opposite of beep.
Okay.
In which everything seems to be an absolutely buttons-down normal mystery with a perfectly logical explanation.
Yep.
That everyone will ultimately get to just before the detective reveals it at the ends, and everything lines up, and it'll feel like a perfect solution. Except you get there, and then actually some other stuff comes up, nothing makes sense, and it turns out it really just is that demons are real and act in ways that make no sense purely to make the world worse, and that it made everything much more fun and evil to make it seem for a little bit like there was a logical explanation, so everyone would chase their tails in circles and then get wrecked at the end.
Well, thank you for not spoiling that classic mystery novel.
Yeah.
For people who want to read it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the problem with that idea would be that you'd have to play on people who like mystery novels and then yank the rug out from under them at the very end.
Absolutely. It would be a big fuck you reader moment, and there would be no redeeming qualities, no reason to read it and enjoy it.
Exactly. And I feel like that's a hard pill to swallow.
And this is why I'm not allowed to be an author. That and the fact that I don't want to be.
I mean, yeah, that's a big part of it too.
I had urgent information to share with Angela, but I had no idea where she was. And I was beginning to feel a bit jumpy and a bit tense. Perhaps the bishop had been onto something. I had been running around all morning chasing that stupid whistle, and I still hadn't quite recovered from what Catherine with a K had told me the night before. I had even taken a close look at the bone hidden underneath my bed. With a groan, I chastised myself for trying to tackle too many tasks at once without finishing any of them.
Called out. That's me today.
I dashed back up the stairs toward the dorms and slipped back into my room. Ah! I slipped.
Oh no.
I shed my clothes and slid under the covers. Perhaps a real nap would serve me well. It was just as the bishop had said. It was good to relax.
Oh. Hey, we're back. Heritage site.
Tatiana stood there, holding her hand out after snapping.
Oh no, this is you now, right?
Tatiana stood there, holding her hand out after snapping. Drama queen. We're just gonna sit here, clicking our fingers until something happens.
Oh no! That one was for the meta-narrative. We should get moving, though. Get back out of the barrel. Hop along.
She folded the sword back up into the raggedy old cloth while I scooted back through the makeshift tunnel.
Don't think I've forgiven her for, like, introducing continuity errors into reality. And again, who was Alex telling this story to? I feel like those were the two big questions still going on for me after this moment here.
Is Alex telling a story to someone?
Yes, we've heard it in their voice before, right? Or what do you mean? What do you mean? What is?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean, but by we've heard it in their voice before.
Oh, they keep saying stuff like. I feel like this has come up before. I don't have examples on me right now, but we've come across Alex just like talking as if they are describing things to someone, not as if it's their internal monologue. But maybe that's just it's stretching a guess. Who knows?
The door was stuck pretty tight, and it took some force to knock it back open again from this side. I've got to admit, I was still pretty worried that we'd been drawing attention to ourselves. Tatiana emerged from the barrel just as I'd finished getting my leg reattached.
Ta! We should head outside for now.
Yeah, this place is giving me the creeps.
Why? It's well lit.
It's all sterile, and we're not even supposed to be here.
All right. Some punk you are. We
power walked back toward the stairs.
Get in your steps!
Maybe that visitor center has a cafe or something.
It does! But it'll be closed, I should think.
No way, it's not even... We hit the top of the stairs and stepped out into the public part of the Abbey. Noon.
It's 11 p.m., just about.
What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck?
Tatiana stood in front of me, admiring the night sky.
It's pretty out here, isn't it?
What did you do? It was morning before we went down there.
I didn't do anything. It's just nighttime now.
Jesus fucking Christ. Did you drug me? Or knock me out or some shit? I felt the back of my head for a bump or something, and Tatiana started laughing.
Oh, maybe I'm the BTK.
What?
Bind torture killer.
I don't know what that is.
Famous serial killer.
Got it.
Shut the fuck up. You took me down to a creepy basement, and now I've got missing time.
So the snap did do something.
Seems like it. That is serial killer shit.
You go in for that sort of thing? I'm surprised. I would expect you to start droning on about how the serial killer panic is being drummed up by police unions for profit or something to that effect.
Okay, so first of all, that's true, but serial killer freaks exist. and luring young disabled women into old cellars is psycho.
That's not a very nice word. We can do better than that.
She checked her watch again.
It's, what, 1983? Oh, maybe we can't.
Checks her watch to see what year it is.
I fucking love that move.
I love Tatiana now.
Maybe we can't do better than that.
She checked her watch again. What time did you say it was?
Bang on 11 o'clock.
Fuck. It probably got dark ages ago.
Of course it did.
I was supposed to meet Jim hours ago.
Of course you were.
I started running back toward the parking lot, or car park, or whatever.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I ignored her. There was nobody here, and it was very dark. If I'd known I was going to get stuck there at night, I would have brought a flashlight or torch or whatever. I made my way back toward the entrance as best I could in the dark. Eventually, I made it back to the front of the Abbey. I was starting to see why Tatiana had warned me not to run off, though. It was practically pitch black out here. As soon as I stepped onto the gravel, though, I realized I wasn't alone.
Oh, well, did you hear that?
I stopped dead. Just up ahead, I could barely make out the shape of a van. 2 shadowy figures were standing in front of it. And they were holding fucking guns! Before I could think what to do, I felt a hand around my mouth. I knew better than to scream.
You want to be gruff?
He was right.
Because I'm sinister, you're gruff.
He did hear something.
Told ya.
First time you've ever been right. You ain't half jumpy usually.
Pays, don't it?
They spoke in thick accents and they carried big rifles. Can't say I ever got a good look at them, though. It was too dark and I was scared shitless. The one who grabbed me forced me to my knees, and all 3 of them stood around me in a circle.
So they have thick accents, huh? What are you doing here?
Just visiting the Abbey? Bit late for that. Lost track of the time. Oh, I get lost on the way to the Jacks.
Take it easy. She probably just one of them kids that comes up here to smoke weed.
Yeah, I don't smell nothing. Got any weed on ya?
No? God, I wished that I did. She wouldn't, would she? MI6 probably has one of them zero-tolerance policies. And look at her shirt. Fake punk shit. Probably got it at M&S on the way here.
M16, she sound American.
Could be the company, then.
Who do you work for?
Nobody. I'm a college student, I swear. Where was Tatiana? I was looking around all desperate, hoping she'd appear and snap her fingers again or something. If she could move time forward, maybe she could get me out of this jam. Who do you keep looking for, eh? Nobody. It was starting to rain. Was I gonna die in a puddle up here? Just then I heard a car approaching.
We can deal with this later.
Yeah, I want to ask our contact about this. Whole thing might be compromised.
It's a good idea.
I could see headlights. After a moment, the engine stopped.
Was I Jim?
I thought so.
Well, good evening, lads.
Jim? I yelled without thinking.
Who's this?
I was embarrassed and terrified. I hoped I hadn't blown anything for him, but I couldn't believe my eyes.
You know her?
Can't say that I do.
She just said your name. Jim peered at me through the raindrops.
Oh, I do recognize her. See her down the pub sometimes.
I'm an exchange student.
Oh, I'm shady, right?
Yep.
Explains the accent. Sorry, Alice. Didn't recognize you with that new haircut of yours.
He winked. I took the hint that it was time for me to shut the fuck up and let him do the talking. Well, American Alice. What are you studying?
History, I should think.
I was asking her. Yeah, history.
She's safe, lads. Let her go and I'll take her home when this is done.
And just let her listen to the whole meeting.
Meeting will be short tonight, I should think. Plan's dead.
Dead?
What you mean, dead?
We worked too hard to let this opportunity pass us by.
Are these guys plotting to kill the King of England? So wait. Is this history playing out again here? And this is like the middle of the Troubles, yeah? So could this be like IRA shit going down?
Oh!
They've stashed weapons like somewhere in the vicinity of this disused abbey.
Oh!
They're planning to assassinate the king during a royal visit for some historical commemoration thing or something.
Did you just bust this whole thing wide open?
I kind of suspected that Jim might be involved in something when his wife made some offhand comments earlier about like him bringing back the guys he was involved with or something. And I should have said something because I didn't, because I was just like, that's just a wild leap to make. That's not fair. But
But no, IRA thinking.
yeah.
Dang. That'd be a really interesting way for the past and present narratives to rhyme.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yep. It was a good plan and all, but you see, it's been compromised. Just heard on the news. Prime Minister ain't coming to Linbarrow no more.
No.
Feck it all. Why not?
She's got the flu, if you can believe it.
Are they planning to assassinate Thatcher?
I think that might be what's happening here. The Prime Minister, she's Prime Minister at this time, right?
I think so.
This is 83? I don't believe that for a moment.
Someone spilled.
See, now that's what I thought.
Yeah, she was PM at this time.
They're
PM and leader of the Conservative Party.
They're threatening to assassinate Thatcher. Okay. Shit.
Well, Jimmy, you're the one standing here telling us this lass we caught creeping about knows you from the pub. If there's a leak, that'd be my guess. I heard the man adjust his rifle, but Jim produced a pistol quicker.
Easy now. It's a good guess, but mine's better.
Jim.
There was a flash of white, and one of the men fell to the ground in a heap. The other two trained their rifles on Jim and started yelling. You've got 10 seconds to explain.
Check round his neck.
He pointed at the body with his pistol. I was freaking the fuck out. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
Shut up.
I whimpered while the guy next to me examined the dead man's body. Fucking hell. Jim was right. Badge and a wire.
Course I'm right. He was crooked.
It's a fucking good thing you were right, Jim. I was gonna blow you away. No hesitation.
How did you know? Oh, I just had a funny feeling about him. Heard about the Prime Minister's change of plan on the 11 o'clock news. And he always was jumpy. Right, load him in the van. We'll drive up into the hills and find somewhere to bury him.
What about the girl?
That is a good question.
Another wink.
I suppose she'll just have to come with us. What the fuck is happening? I thought I was doing a silly, being like, oh, they've got thick accents. I'm going to pick an accent that is distinctly not English. Oh my god, there's another eyeball. That's a new one.
Wait, where?
Right underneath knocking.
Yeah?
That is a new one. Ugh, don't like that. Every time we see more eyeballs, it makes it look more and more like a Tool album cover. Like circa 10,000 days.
I awoke to a gentle knocking on my door. From the look of the light streaming in through my window, I had been asleep too long. It appeared to be somewhere around midday. Who's there?
Sister Angela.
What luck? Come in!
I think... Oh, God, there's one over there, too. Over on the
Yep.
left?
Yep.
There's just so many of them now. I hate this. Last time I was all into the I Spy aspect of it, and now it's just making me feel seen and really antsy all the time. You never know who's watching and when.
I thanked God for this fortuitous visit and leapt out of bed. Oh!
Sure you had, Hedwig.
I had forgotten that I had stripped naked to get into bed until I saw the look on Angela's face. She closed the door behind her swiftly.
You did that on purpose.
No. I had just stripped it off, and when you woke me up just now, I forgot I wasn't wearing anything.
If you insist.
She marched forward and sat on my writing bench.
Well then. Dress yourself, if you'd please.
Oh, very well. Began to put myself back together as Angela watched intently.
The superior said you were looking for me.
Yes. A lot has happened. We should speak somewhere else, I should think.
This couldn't wait for one of our garden meetings.
No, things are moving very quickly and I need you to help me sort my thoughts out.
Slow down.
Sorry. I'm just rather excited is all.
Slow down. Speak quietly. Here is acceptable. I checked all the other rooms before knocking.
Oh. I wondered how that would have gone if someone had been in their room and then using that Angela being nosy wouldn't strike anyone as out of the ordinary. Well, remember what happened in the library? Angela visibly tensed up.
Yes.
It happened again. Last night I thought to inspect the sacristy and while I was there, that thing, the one you don't believe in, attacked me.
I am beginning to think I might have to accept these wild stories.
I only escaped because I ran into the shelves and it couldn't see me anymore. It was just like when you lost me.
Curious. And then what happened?
It gave up and just went back to my old cell.
And disappeared.
I'm not sure. I didn't follow it too closely.
Wise, I suppose you'd be no match for it. But Hedwig, many hours have passed since then. Do you realize what sort of danger we might all be in?
We were always in peril. I've been trying my best to go about my days. I finished getting dressed and smoothed out the front of my robes. Angela took a deep breath. She looked lost in thought. And finally she spoke in a low whisper.
You're sure it went back to your cell?
It certainly seemed to be heading in that direction.
Nobody goes down that hallway anymore. As good a place as any to hide, I suppose.
It worked for Flora.
Yes, it did, didn't it? We should check.
That sounds dangerous.
It is our duty.
I decided to change the subject. I did not want to think about meeting that thing face to face. Oh, and that's not all. I was inspecting the sacristy. I found something shocking.
Oh?
I dove under my bed and rummaged around for the bone. After retrieving it, I scampered backward and awkwardly stood back up. Angela was biting her lip. A bone. A scapula, to be specific.
God's blood.
Could it be, you know, Catherine's?
It would be difficult for me to think of an alternative.
Especially considering there's no longer a... I'm guessing that Eustace... No, I mean, I guess we don't know that for sure, but I'm guessing Eustace, if she destroyed everything in the sacristy, also destroyed the list of what's in the sacristy. You know what I mean? That seems like that would also be part and parcel with it. So there'd be no way to go and be like, oh, that's the scapula of St. John.
Because that's absolutely what I was thinking. Like, it would not be surprising to just find a random scapula kicking around an abbey in the 1400s.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got those for reasons. They collect them. Gotta catch them all.
Right, exactly. But unfortunately, Eustace, I guess we don't know for certain that she has, but it would strike me as odd if she burnt the contents of the sacristy and not the list of things that were in the sacristy. You know what I mean?
Unless the purpose was just to destroy the books which got stashed in there.
Right. And then the sacristy is just a misdirect?
Collateral damage.
Okay.
Well, not a misdirect, but needed a place to put them and then
Okay.
did so.
Either way, it seems unlikely that we will get an answer if it is indeed, unless someone happens to just straight up remember, and Eustace is unlikely to be forthcoming.
It would be funny, though, if someone sees it and is just like,
Oh, wait, yeah, that thing?
I remember the contour on the left side here. That's Saint So-and-so.
Yeah, we used it for dice games back in the day. Why? Where'd you find it? Been looking for that thing forever.
The bishop's just like, yeah, I drank soup out of that this one time.
We all got a little bit wasted that evening. All in the name of good fun and Christly love.
But why?
Well, dark rituals, perhaps? I have heard whispers of scapulomancy before. Perhaps that has something to do with my pursuer. Or the shelves. Angela winced at the last word.
Combined with our other evidence, this might indeed be Eustace's undoing. You theorize she was using this for some sort of spell. She might have knocked a candle over on accident or something of the sort.
If candles are involved in that sort of thing, then yes, that seems like a solid assumption. Angela opened her mouth to respond, but I plowed ahead. I was determined to impress her. And I found out from Catherine with a K that Margaret, Catherine II, Moira, and Eustace were all very close at one point.
I remember. What's the connection?
I'd gotten ahead of myself. As close as I was to Angela now, I did not want to betray Catherine with a K's trust. Well, Moira is the odd one out here, but Eustace and Margaret both claim to not remember any smoke that day. So, I don't know. Perhaps it's a spurious connection, but it is a connection nonetheless.
You think they were all involved in a conspiracy that ended in Catherine's death.
Catherine with a K had insisted that their little gang had not wanted to kill anyone at the Abbey. I believed her. Even Catherine would not sit idly by and let that happen, even if she had only heard whispers. I would not go that far. There's nothing connecting those others to anything Eustace has done recently.
Well, regardless, we have a lot to work with here. This bone, her shabby treatment of the sword, her bullying you into silence. My goodness, Hedwig, I must admit I'm pleased.
Holy fuck, it's Angela Smiling Sprite.png.
Screenshot that. Frame
That
it.
smile, that fucking smile.
Of course, when she smiles, it's a DreamWorks face.
We need to do a hello, cousin Tabitha from Scarlet Hollow.
Yep,
Hello,
hello.
sister Angela from Misericorde. Smile sprite. Smile sprite.
Oh, they're so good.
You have been busy. We should still inspect your old cell, however. I am convinced of Eustace's suspicious behavior, but it would not sit well with me to ignore the other aspect.
I have been rather motivated lately. Angela reached out to touch my chin, taking me by total surprise.
Is that so?
Yes. Are you going to aim better this time?
Do you require more motivation?
Well, I certainly wouldn't mind.
Puppy girl Hedwig intensifies.
You have to click the clicker for me.
Tell me, what else has Catherine told you? What did you two get up to?
Well, she was fully nude when I entered her dorm. Angela scoffed.
Of course she was. And did you...
Well, I suppose we did. She took this information thoughtfully. Her eyes flickered and she exhaled sharply through her nose.
Let us meet in that hallway in an hour. No doubt the thought of each other's company will grant us whatever bravery we need to peek inside your old cell.
I could feel my cheeks burning, turning bright red. It'll be very dangerous, potentially.
I am armed.
I hadn't the heart to tell Angela that her little dagger would likely do nothing against that great beast. More than likely, if we were to find anything, we would just have to run. Where would we run? Into the Abbey? Into the cloister to let the builders take care of it? The more I thought about this idea, the more reckless and ill-advised it seemed. But as I stared into Angela's eyes, I realized that I would take any risk that would get me closer to seeing a glimpse of her flesh once again. Oh, listen to me. There was never any hope for my soul. The lies I had told myself about what I could pretend to feel had caught up with me so fast that I had never even noticed. My head was no longer above water. I had sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
Is this why young Hedwig insisted on being enclosed as an anchoress? Realized, oh shit, I'm gay at like 6 years old, and is like, oh no,
I can't be allowed to... Holy shit!
I can't be allowed to be around women.
That's impressive levels of repression, if true.
The only hope I have to live through my adolescence is to be locked in this room away from other humans.
And then they let her out. Oh no. The chain, the hook that had taken hold of my loins some time ago. It was just an anchor. All this time, I had been falling down, down, deeper and darker, never to see the surface again. How fitting. In the moment, though, all I felt was raw, animalistic lust. I had felt it with Catherine, and I had felt it with Adela, and I had even felt it around Moira and Margaret, but I had been able to pull away from them. In those moments, I could at least remember that I was meant to be pretending. I couldn't pull away from Angela. There was something that much more intoxicating about her. Watching someone grow to want me against their better judgment. Just as I wanted her against my better judgment. That made me feel powerful. It tickled the same part of me that was satisfied whenever I walked through the halls naked or felt the rain against my skin. What a wretched, godless little monster I am. Who knows just how much further I would have fallen had I not wound up back here.
So, an hour.
Yes, an hour. She nodded at me, then left the room. Is that one above the fireplace, or am I just imagining it now?
I think that's one above the fireplace.
God. I feel like... Now I'm just... I feel like this is having the intended effect. Now I'm constantly paranoid about who's watching me at all times while I'm playing this game. Good on you, ZC. Intended effect achieved. Ah! She's right next to me.
There are several eyeballs in this very room.
No! Get them! After a few minutes of pacing, I left as well. I walked out into the hall and leaned over the stone railing, attempting to steady myself. Oh, that good, huh? I glanced down the hall toward the crossroads Angela and I would be braving in an hour's time. I wasn't alone with my thoughts for long, however. I could hear voices below.
Oh, dear God, we're not even hiding it now.
I leaned over the railing to see what was going on, and my heart stopped. A crowd of nuns had gathered around a woman who had collapsed.
There's one in the stairs. On the left.
Yeah.
Yep.
I flew down the stairs and burst into the cloister to join the group, fearing the worst. What's going on?
It's poor old Darcy.
Fuck! The woman lying face first on the cloister grass was indeed Sister Darcy. Her eyes were closed, but I could see her breathing at the very least. Moira bent down to hold her wrist, looking concerned.
Well, her heart is beating.
What happened?
Marta and I were sitting at our table and saw her wandering into the cloister. She looked dead tired, but before we could say anything, she just up and fell over.
Okay, but hear me out. This does sound like a thing Darcy might just do. Like, oh, it's sunny out again, but I can't find a ride back up from the town. I guess I'll just walk all the way back, and now I'm sleepy. Time to go to bed.
It does have kind of that same... I recognize that kind of pattern of thought where it's like, well, I guess there's nothing to be done about it. This is just what I have to do. It's the same kind of thing that would get me looks on occasion when I would just walk to work in the middle of a blizzard because no one would call me to tell me that we were closed and I had to be there. So I would just... And I don't have a car, so I would just kind of do it and then show up and people would be like, what the fuck? And I'm like, That's just nothing to be done. Gotta do it.
See, I don't see that as a Darcy pattern. I was just thinking, like, she strikes me as the kind of person that might just, like, be like, and just wander back up from town, taking the entire day, and then fall over asleep exactly where she was.
So you think she's
just like
sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause that just seems like a thing she might do.
Fair enough.
Of course, that's not going to be what happens, because why would that be the thing at the very end of this game?
I don't know. This would be the perfect time for one last bit of comic relief. Like, things are certainly coming to a head, but I could also feel it being the moment where, like, this is the last little funny before things really get off the... Anyway, you're Marta.
She walked through that whole bloody camp without anyone helping her, looks like.
That's awful.
We don't know how she was acting then. She might just be exhausted.
How can you be so cold and collected about this, of all people?
No, Eustace could be right. Hers would be my guess, too.
Look at how dirty her clothes are. Did she walk all the way back up the mountain herself? All the others turned to look at the hem of her robes.
You're right.
That doesn't make sense. She always gets a lift from someone if she stays down there overnight.
Who does she get a lift from when she stays down there overnight? Is it James?
Whoops.
And yet, here she is.
I'll get her to bed right away. Catherine, would you help me lift her? Of course.
The crowd parted to allow Moira and Catherine to pick the unconscious Darcy up by her shoulders and legs. They hobbled away together as fast as they could toward the stairs. We watched helplessly as the chapel bell rang out to announce that it was midday.
Who's on bell duty at a time like this?
Margaret or Flora, one of the new oblates, or Adela. I think those were the only people or
I feel like
maybe Angela?
I feel like we've heard Margaret volunteer to ring bells at some time.
I'm just trying to think of who wasn't present in that scene.
Priorities, goodness me.
Sister Adela, if I recall. Don't take it out on her. She probably didn't see. Suppose someone ought to go and tell the superior. Poor thing.
Well, I hope Moira knows what she's doing. If we lost Sister Darcy, this place would collapse in a week.
A day, I'd reckon. Eustace said nothing. She looked as if her heart had been torn in two. We stood in silence for a moment. Charity reached out to squeeze Eustace's shoulder. Will it be all right if we leave you to go inform the superior, eh?
Yes.
And they are right. It is probably about a day. Darcy was gone for one day, and they almost burned down the kitchens and then successfully burned down the library.
Yeah, so she's absolutely right. She underselling it, if anything.
Charity and Marta slipped away. Eustace looked paler than usual, and her glasses made the sadness in her eyes all the larger. When I spoke, I channeled my earnest sympathy for Darcy into my performance. Eustace, I'm sure that Darcy will recover. Moira has always been a big help. She always helps me get back up on my feet. We could go check on her if you like.
You should. I will go later. I want to speak to her alone.
Very well.
Hedwig?
Yes?
I have been lying to you. We were never enemies. Not really.
You have seemed quite intent on treating me so, and you have allowed me to treat you in kind. If we are not foes, what are we?
Never mind. But I haven't the heart to fight you much longer.
I paused for a moment. Eustace was staring off toward the superior's door. Her appeal had only made me angry, I must confess. I should have pitied her, but all I could think watching her break in front of me was, it's too late now. How could I possibly feel sorry for her? Nearly said as much, but I let it go. I left Eustace to her thoughts. Initially, I meant to immediately go and check on Darcy in her stead. However, a commotion from across the cloister caught my attention.
There you are. We've seen that one before.
The men's chatter was typically calm, if not jovial. however, had risen to something more intense. As I rounded the corner to the chapel, I could see a crowd of workers struggling with a large piece of equipment that appeared to be buckling. I had noticed... Oh, wow, this one's up in the sky. I've never seen that one. Did you see it?
Yep, there's two.
There's two?
There's two.
Oh, there are two. There's one up in the upper left, and there's one kind of beneath the pulley there. God dang. I noticed this particular tool a few times as I walked past the site. It was a large contraption, something of a wheel attached to a series of ropes and beams. I had no idea what it was meant to do, but the groaning and clunking sounds were evidence enough that it wasn't working properly. I was not the only one who had been summoned by the shouts and barks. Angela was standing with her arms folded, watching the men struggle. Crispin appeared behind her after a moment. I could hear him shout across the build site.
What's the trouble?
Treadwheel's stuck, sir. Tomas stuck inside unless we can get it fixed.
They really did wheel him. To my shock and fury, I realized the man inside the contraption was the lech who had spied on Angela and I in the baths. Part of me had hoped the wheel Crispin had mentioned had been a euphemism for more serious punishment. Angela had noticed as well. She looked rather serious.
Yes, I can see now. The claw cannot simply be dislodged.
Right not, sir. Else the pulley might snap back and break the whole machine. Main rope looks like it's about to give way.
That shouldn't be.
Sadly, it is. We think Tomas is the only one holding it together right now by keeping the treadwheel in place.
Well then. Thomas, listen to me carefully. I'm going to have however many men it takes carry the biggest stone they can up there, and then we'll swap.
But it was too late. Something snapped, and the wheel began to spin freely. Even at this distance, the sight of the young man's body bouncing around inside was too much to bear. And Winston looked away as the builder scrambled up to the machine to check on Thomas. Once the awful sounds had slowed, I mustered the courage to look back across the yard. Crispin stood still, looking more stoic than I had yet seen him. Next to him, I could see Angela taking it all in. She caught my eye from across the yard and smirked. I offered a weak smile in return and turned to leave. Divine intervention, I supposed. I was glad that Thomas had not gone unpunished, but I was still shocked. I uttered a little prayer, all too aware of what awaited sinners like me. My only hope was that he understood everything I did in service of justice. But it wasn't difficult to understand the message I had just been sent. No matter how dark the waters I swam in were, I could not escape the eyes of God. I stuffed my feelings down and made my way to the dorms. Did Angela? Okay, so what kind of contraption? I couldn't quite place it in my mind what was happening mechanically. Did you understand what was?
It's some sort of pulley system.
Some sort of pulley system. Got it.
We got someone in a wheel doing the pulleying.
Got it. Anyway.
Now, what I'm trying to figure is this a thing that Crispin did, and he is a stone cold motherfucker who's like, don't worry about it. I can permanently make Thomas no longer a problem in a way that you won't have to do paperwork, meaning I'm going to deliberately cause a worksite accident and kill my own guy. Or is this an Angela special? Like,
here's the thing. I think if it was a Crispin gives me the impression of someone who, like, maybe you're right. Because on the one hand, I would think that he would want to do it in a way that just also doesn't cause work to stop. Because now they have to, now they're behind schedule. On the other hand, maybe that's a good a sign as any to the rest of his builders, right?
Don't fuck up.
Like, we're at a nunnery. Don't go fucking being a lech on people in the baths.
Jesus Christ. I don't know that Angela would have enough understanding of how the machinery works to be able to set up something convincingly like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the part of it that would make me think it's not an Angela special. But god damn. If that was indeed Crispin, holy shit. What would have happened if you had gotten blood on your doublet?
See, that's the other benefit. The blood isn't going to fly that far out from the machine. He can stand safely over here on the other side of the yard.
You know, I was
Doublet
just thinking
untouched.
that we hadn't had enough bodies hit the floor this game, so yeah, clearly that's what we needed.
Darcy's door was wide open when I arrived. Moira was attending to her in bed. She had pulled up Darcy's desk chair to sit beside her patient.
Oh, Hedwig, perfect timing.
Now playing naked.
She isn't awake yet, but she's still breathing. She's got some bruises on her legs, but otherwise, I think she's just completely knackered.
Bruises on her leg. Did something go wrong when she was getting the sheep down?
I don't know.
Knackered?
Medical term.
Speaking of medicine, you might get called upon soon. There was an unfortunate accident at the build site.
Oh no! Do they not have a doctor with them?
I am uncertain, but it seemed rather extreme.
I appreciate you telling me. I should go and check on things. Darcy is going to need lots of water when she wakes up, so I was about to head out for a moment anyway. Would you mind watching over her?
Oh, I'd be happy to oblige. What should I do if something happens, though?
I shan't be long, and really I doubt anything will happen.
You got it.
Just, make sure she doesn't fall out of bed or run outside.
Very well. Moira smiled at me and vacated the chair, leaving the room in a hurry. She closed the door behind her as I took the seat. For a minute or two, I just watched Darcy's breathing. Her chest rose and fell with comforting regularity. Darcy?
Ow. Hurts all over.
I scooted my chair closer and spoke gently. Darcy's eyes were still closed, but she wiggled her head back and forth after she spoke. What happened?
Oh, is that you, Hedwig?
Hedwig, who she last saw not upholding her promise to help her out.
Yes. Are you well? Please tell me what happened.
Hedwig, that's funny.
Funny? What's funny?
I saw you seated in the old clock tower, bathed in moonlight.
What?
Bleached bones laid at your feet, and a cat rested on your lap.
What?
You held the sword in both of your hands, and one gripped the blade. It must have hurt, but you seemed to be at peace. 8 candles surrounded your feet, and 1 candle was atop your head.
Are you describing
just
the
like
key
in the
artwork?
promo art.
Yeah. She's describing some of the key artwork for Volume 2.
All were lit, and your hood was stained with wax. You cast your eyes upward, perhaps distracted by the dripping tallow. And then I heard you murmur, "Sit autem sermo vester. Est, non, est, non. Can we back scroll a little bit and see what that Latin is? Sit autem sermo vester. I have no fucking clue.
Of course. What?
But I wonder if it's a reference to a thing.
Well, part of it I can recognize because she dips into French a little bit. Non. Oui. Non.
Okay, so this is from the Latin Vulgate from the book of Matthew. So what's this going to be in English, please?
And make sure to tell us what version of it you're reading.
Yeah.
Man, so glad all that high school Latin came up to clutch, right?
Not remembering fucking any of this. So let's see. Revised Standard Version.
Okay.
All you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. This is going to cut off at the yes and no bit.
Okay.
So that is from the context of telling Christ telling the believers not to swear oaths. None at all. Never swear an oath, not by heaven, nor by the earth, nor by Jerusalem, nor by your head. Just say yes or no and be truthful when you do it.
Just say yes or no and be truthful when you do it.
Never swear oaths.
That's so on point.
It's also directly before the verse about eye for eye and tooth for tooth,
Uh-huh.
and about 6 or 7 verses before the love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. So really a high density of like the recognizable verses right here in Matthew
Not just
5.
recognizable ones that would certainly give Hedwig pause,
Yeah.
right? God dang.
I suppose that is funny, Darcy. I was bewildered by her gibberish. Reached out and held one of her hands in mine, hoping Moira would return soon and that she could cure whatever addled poor Darcy. After a few minutes, Moira entered the room again, carrying a pitcher and an empty mug. She set them down on the desk next to the bed, then turned to face me.
I'm back. Everything calm, I take it?
Yes. She mumbled a little bit in her sleep, but that's all.
Oh, that's great news. With any luck, she'll be up and about soon. Poor thing. I hope nothing serious happened.
I take it you weren't needed at the build site?
No, Crispin thanked me for checking, but he said it was less serious than it looked.
Oh.
Less serious than it looked?
I stood up to offer the chair back to Moira.
Ta. Ooh, it is nice to sit down for a bit, I must say. There's just too much going on. Meetings, fires, newcomers, the builders rushing to put that tower together. I don't envy your work, Hedwig. Your chronicles must be epic poems at this point.
Chronicles. I was letting so much slip through the cracks I hadn't written anything in days. There's been much to keep track of, and some of it has been difficult to put into words.
Well, I'm sure you've been doing a wonderful job.
I do my best.
Well, nothing left to do now but wait. Thank you for watching her while I ran to get the water.
Of course. We smiled at one another. There was a pause, an implicit invitation to speak, but neither of us did. Moira, when you grabbed my clothes to dry them that one time, was there a sword underneath them? Just real quick. I left the room.
We've seen that one today. The one in the lower left there, have we seen that one before?
I don't know.
Someone should keep track of all of these, because I sure as hell ain't gonna. I'm gonna keep looking at them every single time and be like, hey, that's cool. I wonder if we've seen that before. Is the 4th time I've seen it.
I felt as if my being was floating a few inches above my body. I could see everything around me, and everyone, but it was difficult to believe that I was seeing it. I could see things. I could hear things. And I knew that everything was there.
What the fuck is this background imagery?
I don't know. Looks kind of like a cistern almost.
But it did not feel like any of it was. There wasn't long left until Angela and I had promised to meet and investigate my old cell. My heart ached for Darcy, of course, but everything felt separate from that impending rendezvous. That felt tangible. Everything else felt as if my hand might pass right through it. It was not quite time yet. What would we find? Angela's company was my primary excitement, but the idea that we might find something conclusive or at least take the next step towards solving one of the Abbey's mysteries, it had me shaking. What if we found it, however? The great beast. The ghost that had haunted me ever since I left my cell. Some time ago, I'd proven that it was not Eustace in disguise, but there seemed to be a good chance that it was Eustace's responsibility. Had it been summoned as part of her little assassination ring's plot? Was it a tool that had escaped her control? It was making more and more sense to my sin-addled mind. A thought occurred to me. Angela was so confident in her little dagger, but I knew where we could find a much larger weapon, should we need to protect ourselves. I quickly dipped into my room to retrieve the sword I had bundled in the Superior's traveling cloak, then jogged back down the stairs toward the cloister.
Epic sword fight.
Better than using it for the other thing, I suppose. Clutching the bundle to my chest, I waited at the intersection of the connecting passage where the ghost had once stood brandishing its own blade. Previously, I'd assumed the beast was simply availing itself of the one sword in the abbey. After all, I had gathered from the way the others had spoken about Catherine's sword that these were highly prized and expensive weapons. Perhaps the agents of hell were all outfitted with their own weapons.
Imagine the devil being cheap enough not to send you up there with a sword. Be like, no. Find something. I'm not paying.
No, listen, just because we're evil doesn't mean that we don't give you the tools you need to do your job.
There's an important book to be written on the nature of demons should I ever survive this. I could feel the handle of the sword through the Superior's cloak. My thoughts began to drift toward that evening on the bank of the stream. Not now, Hetty. I was interrupted quickly, however, by Sister Angela's footsteps. She walked down the hall briskly toward me, a steely glint in her eye.
What is that?
Catherine's sword.
I know what it is. Why did you bring it?
I thought it might be useful. You know, in case we are forced to defend ourselves.
That is not a toy, Hedwig. It's evidence. And what if somebody saw you?
I was careful! I was not looking forward to telling her that I discovered there were 2 swords.
Well, take good care of it, and for goodness' sake, be careful should you have to use it.
Yes, Sister Angela. The 1400s, open carrying is fine. She eyed me up and down and then took a deep breath.
Well then, shall we?
I nodded and took a moment to unwrap the sword properly and affix the cloak around my neck. Angela looked over her shoulder toward the hallway cautiously, clearly paranoid that someone might notice me flashing the blade around. No one saw, however, and she held back whatever chastising remark she had been ready to give me. We plunged into the dark hall together. I held the sword at my side, and she retrieved her dagger from the inside of her sleeve. After arriving at the end of the hall, we exchanged glances before attempting the door.
Does Angela have like a wrist holster or something for that? Like a concealed scabbard? Or has she just always got a loose blade up there at all times?
I don't know.
I'm not sure
the
which
fact that
I
she
find
does it
better.
regularly makes me think that maybe she has like at least like a little thing up there to hold it. But I don't know that she's gone full like Assassin's Creed. It swung freely and we darted inside.
God, I need fan art of strapped Angela now. Constantly has a knife on her. Even when I take off the knife, there's still a knife. Look in my pocket, it's a knife. Look in your pocket, it's a knife.
She has knives stashed all over the world. I had never seen Angela move so quickly. Fear did not suit her. We are currently at Safe Place Stay Home. In any other circumstance, it would have looked comical. I dashed in behind her, but she had already stopped dead in her tracks. I nearly collided with her.
Nobody.
We stood in the middle of my old cell, both shuddering and fighting for breath as the door swung shut behind us. There was indeed no one else in the room. No monster. I dropped to my knees to check under the bed. Nothing.
You're sure you saw the creature retreat this direction?
Absolutely positive. And you know what else? I actually found the goat it had beheaded. You know, the one nobody believed I saw.
Really?
It's on my way to meet Catherine, in fact. Have you ever caught a horrible scent on the wind outside?
No.
Oh, well, that's what it was. Must have killed the goat and thrown its corpse over the wall as it escaped. Angela frowned.
As it escaped outside, down the left path of that corridor.
It did the first time I saw it, yes, I believe. It's very dark and I don't remember exactly.
But you did see it come this direction at least once.
Her voice was entering a higher register. I was terrified that I had upset her by wasting her time. As I said, I am absolutely positive. Angela stalked around the room, examining the dusty bookshelf and my empty writing desk. Felt a pang of longing as I saw her trace her finger along the desk's surface. My life used to be so simple. She took toward the window and then closed it. With a long shuddering sigh, she leaned against the wall.
I suppose I should be relieved.
I leaned the sword against the wall in the corner of the room. I was still a little shaky. I nearly let it fall over.
Between this and Thomas's divine punishment, it would seem we are being rewarded for our work. Are you certain you saw the monster come this way?
Yes, I promise.
Worry not, I believe you.
But, I mean, there's more down this hallway, right?
There's the whole ass
There's
secret
the whole
passage.
ass secret passage you know about.
We should consider the ramifications of this discovery, however. Finding nothing can still mean something. It must.
I paced around the room, my hands behind my back. It is a ghost, or a devil, or a barghest, or...
I think defining it is the least of our worries.
Yes. Could still be here, just not... here. Fleur once said that it lived in the shadows. Perhaps it really does live in them. Incorporeal.
A possibility I'd rather not entertain while in this dark room.
You closed the window! Or it could have escaped into the walls. There is a hidden passage nearby. Angela cocked an eyebrow.
A passage? How big?
Never mind. Ignore me. It would be too narrow for such a beast, actually, if it is real. I suppose too bright if it indeed exists inside of shadows. The
Hedwig, where
wall
the fuck is
crumbled
the
not
passage?
Long ago. Light would flood it. I furrowed my brow and sat down on the bed. There were crumbs on the blanket that made sitting rather uncomfortable, and I brushed them aside. I didn't remember living like such a slob when I was an anchoress. I hoped Angela did not notice.
Hedwig mentions a fucking secret passage and they gloss over it.
Yep.
Fury.
Anger.
Oh my god.
Angela, come on, follow up on this.
Angela, lock in. Hedwig, lock in.
But see, Hedwig has it in her head that it has to be a shadow thing, and there's too much light in there.
And that it's
it
too
couldn't
big
fit.
and it couldn't fit.
Hetty! Whose side are you on? Girl, whose side are you on?
Then we are left with no choice but to conclude that this room wasn't our beast's final destination.
Indeed. But why would it come here at all?
You were the one who used to live here. You would have to tell me.
I have no clue, I'm afraid. Unless I wanted old books, I'm stymied.
I doubt it was reading the Bible in here.
She stepped away from the wall and exhaled deeply.
Look at my hands, I'm quaking. I was rather ready to fight for our lives.
So was I. I gestured to the sword I had propped up in the corner. It has its own sword, you know.
No. What?
Unless it ran into my room, took that one, then put it back under my bed again.
Why are you just informing me of this now?
Because this was the time we agreed to speak on these matters.
Well, at the very least I understand why you wanted to bring that with you now. I had hoped that the sword was, I don't know, a hallucination. Or perhaps more proof of Eustace's negligence.
I remembered Eustace marching me into the sacristy to show me the sword under lock and key. Things were becoming clearer. So clear, in fact, that it made me feel rather unintelligent. You don't know where the other sword might have come from?
No, I knew about Sister Catherine's obsession with that one. I am loath to call it her sword. It was meant to rest in the sacristy in our care. Eustace was far too lenient with it even then.
Did it always have the engraving? Her eyes narrowed.
Engraving.
I flipped the sword around to show her the Hebrew text.
Sister Catherine.
She looked taken aback.
No, I did not know about this. If I had known about it, Catherine and I would have certainly had words about it. This was not hers to customize.
Can you read it?
No.
Do you know of anyone here who could?
Now that Catherine is gone, none.
Knowing Eustace has always been careless is rather interesting, though. The rest is a bit murky, but, well, there's something there.
I am frustrated. I feel like we are piling up details but getting nowhere.
I understand. I want to be rid of all this nastiness, all of this uncertainty.
We've been traveling in circles for so long.
She sighed again.
At least you discovered the dead goat, I suppose.
Which only raises more questions, I'm afraid. All it confirms for now is that I am still sane.
That is no small comfort these days.
I suppose that is true.
On the topic of sanity,
Uh-huh.
have you thought of any possible explanation for the shelves?
No, none. Replied in a more brusque manner than I really intended.
I thought not.
What if Hedwig herself is an agent of Satan?
All right, spin this out.
So much of what she's done is managing to stir the pot without actually producing any kind of actionable results, and just resulting in everyone feeling absolutely worse about things than it would have if she just hadn't poked her nose into it to begin with, right? If she hadn't poked her nose to begin with, it would have sucked, but it would have passed, right? An innocent man would have died, absolutely, but things would have then moved on. Now, it's months later, they're still ruminating over it, and things just keep happening. And it just makes things worse and worse, even as she pretends that she's doing, even as she pretends that things are getting better and she's doing it for the greater good. What if Hedwig is an agent of Satan and they're doing The Good Place? Spoilers for The Good Place.
I'm liking this theory. There is no demon, but the supernatural shit is still real, and it's Hedwig.
Yes, absolutely, it's Hedwig.
Never attribute what could be attributed
Hedwig
to explained by incompetence. What could instead be explained by the literal, actual Prince of Hell and architect of man's fall from grace.
Exactly. The greatest trick he ever pulled was convincing us he didn't exist. I'm saying Hedwig is Ted Danson, okay? That's what I'm saying. Hedwig is Ted Danson, and Angela is Veronica Mars's actress, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, what's her name?
What's her name? She's a great actress, and I cannot remember her name right now. I just know her as Veronica Mars, first and foremost. Fuck. Okay. Anyway, that's my swing for the fences theory. Why did I just try to use my Switch controller to...
You tell me.
Neither have I. I shall speak freely as we are in perhaps the safest possible place to do so. I am afraid. I have been afraid since Catherine's body was found, and nothing I have uncovered since has eased my fears. Catherine dabbled in many things, not all of them savory. The moment she died, I thought, well, something must have caught up with her.
Okay, just to refine my theory a bit more, it's not necessary that Hedwig is literally an agent of Satan. Maybe it's enough that she's convinced herself that she is.
So this is like some sort of inverse Salem witch trials scenario where it's not everybody else being convinced that someone is an agent of Satan and driving them to hysterical behavior about them, but instead that someone themselves has convinced that they themselves are an agent of Satan, and that's driving them to do all kinds of things that are unhelpful and out of pocket.
Yep. That's my new theory now. How do you like it?
And you know who put the idea in Hedwig's head to act that way?
Catherine with a C.
Satan.
Oh, Satan. Yes, Satan.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing us that the greatest ever trick the devil ever pulled was convincing us that he didn't exist.
Shit, you're right. Did you read this one?
Yeah.
What that could have been exactly, I had no clue. We hadn't been close for a little while at that point.
I think the greatest trick the devil actually ever pulled is the tamper-resistant packaging on packages of scissors, where if you had a way to open the package, you obviously wouldn't have gone to the store to buy the scissors.
I think the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was a SICK 900 in the late 90s X Games. The half pipe freestyle finals that year were something else.
Oddly enough, pulled a 1080 Christ stare of all tricks.
Just to be clear, we're not saying Tony Hawk is an agent of Satan. We're saying Satan copies Tony Hawk's notes.
And then your ghost appeared. Is there a chance this could all be some elaborate trick? Eustace, I hear, dressed up to scare you at least once.
Only the once I am beginning to suspect. I saw the beast standing behind her not long ago, up on one of the towers watching us in the garden.
So now we are left to sort through conflicting clues. The goat was real, not imagined. I believe you. You would not lie to me like that, would you?
Of course not. We could leave right now and I could show you.
So we must continue to catalog our very real evidence. Eustace was hiding Catherine's scapula in the sacristy, although we can't be certain why.
Okay, Angela, even for you, that's a jump.
Flora's injury is as real as can be, so looking at the rest, I must believe that she was chased by this monster. It could have been Eustace, but she cannot be in two places at once. Then again, perhaps you saw a real ghost behind Eustace, and then Eustace in costume afterward.
It seems impossible to prove one way or another.
Indeed. That is the point I am building to. Every last piece of information we have is dubious. My thoughts cascade logically, but they never reach a reliable conclusion. We must rely on each other's word, we must take leaps of faith and guess what these clues mean. All but one. We both experienced what happened in the library between those shelves. We both witnessed the impossible. And so, regretfully, against all my better judgment, against all that I hold true about the world, I must lean toward witchcraft as an explanation. I hate even saying it, but if I look at things logically, it is the only conclusion.
So... Yes! Team Witch! Witch! Wait, shit, wrong game. So what can we do?
Nothing.
I realized that she was crying.
There is nothing I can think of. There is nothing to be done but wait, and I feel foolish. I tire of getting closer and closer to the truth, but never seeing it.
We have enough to make a decision. Could we wait for more? Certainly, I suppose, but I see no better path forward right now than removing the one obstacle we are sure of. We could wait and observe, I suppose, but I'm not sure how much longer I can wait for another opportunity, another hint to reveal itself.
Seems like they pop up every 5 seconds, Hedwig.
Right? So convenient for you. And how will it reveal itself? Another injury? Another death? Another complete and total impossibility?
You are right, of course. I never want to think about those damnable shelves again, nor do I wish to see anyone else dead. It's just difficult honing in on one obstacle. Eustace is suspicious, to be sure, but there's also Catherine's lurid past, and these connections with Margaret and Moira. Perhaps we could confront Eustace directly.
There's nothing to be gotten from her, I fear. And imagine what she might do if... And imagine what she...
Oh, okay.
And imagine what she might do if we invoked her wrath.
There was a typo there.
Oh, there's Margaret and Moira then. Perhaps the truth could be coaxed out of them.
That connection could have something to do with her death, but there's no reason we could not piece together, rest together after Eustace is dealt with.
Damn it all. I suspect you are correct, but even with Eustace gone, what could we do about monsters and bewitched shelves? Certainly not go check them again.
In Angela's defense, if she truly believes that she saw what she thought she saw, that has been the first thing if she believes that, right? Then that has been the first thing she's seen with her own eyes that has so radically shattered her worldview. I can understand her being like, I am not going back to that again.
It's absolutely true, but at the same time, it is a shelf.
It is a shelf. You should just go back and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to say, like,
it's very different from Hedwig seeing a horrific monster that wants to murder her and so on.
Right.
And this is like it's a kind of weird shelf.
Yes.
It's not even a creepy shelf. It's a normal library shelf. It just a weird thing happened. If you aren't gonna cool with it, like, bring it up to some other folks. Get Supermom out to look. Like,
okay, let's play that. What would she say? Hey, Supermom, I think that maybe there's a thing of shelves that doesn't exist back there. Could you go check it with Hetty, please?
I mean, You could definitely say, I think we have some evidence in the library of something being something that's relevant. We need you to see it in person or something. I don't think there would be any problem getting somebody else to go there and stand and look.
And double check it even if they're not necessarily cognizant of what they are doing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Once we make a decision, we are through with all of this, I suspect. There is nowhere left for us to take our investigation. As long as the impossible and the magical are involved, we are stuck here.
Her mouth quivered.
You and I are alone, and we may well be alone with this knowledge until we die.
Let us remove one obstacle then, at the very least.
Indeed.
Angela. I stood in front of her, desperate to comfort her somehow, but unsure how to. She soon sought comfort of her own accord, however. She reached forward and pulled my face close to hers, kissing me firmly and passionately. I relented and allowed her to do whatever she wished, especially since her aim was so good this time.
She'd been practicing, clearly.
I had no idea how to receive a kiss nor how to give one. My eyes closed involuntarily and I said nothing. Without breaking away, she steered me toward the bed and tossed me onto it. My head hit the pillow too hard for it to be of any comfort, and I winced. Something small and irritating dug into my back, too, and the sheets bunched up awkwardly under my rump. Then she yanked my hood aside to whisper hoarsely in my ear. Angela! Oh, wait.
If we must be alone in the knowledge that the world is darker and stranger than we could possibly know, I want us to be close. If there are things only we can share, so be it. I want you to be my refuge, and I yours in turn.
I agree. Angela took me then and there, in the room that used to be mine alone. Right? Here. A yard or two away from where I sit now.
So we now know where Hedwig is.
Yes. So all of my stuff, like it could be a different cell. No. This is her back in her original cell. Okay. Yeah. Also, crumbs and stuff. Someone's going in there for some reason.
Yeah, that seems odd. So
right? I mean, like that does seem worth noting. The door is unlocked, hasn't bothered to be locked, and someone seems to be going in there, maybe just to sneak a snack, but someone's using it.
Yep.
Maybe Margaret. She knows the passages and could be going in there to sneak a snack every so often, right? In peace.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be sinister, but it is worth thinking about.
And now I am alone once more.
Urim.
Oh my. You'll have to join us next time for this one. Oh, this episode is... We're going places now.
You can tell the mystery's getting good when it gets gay, and we barely comment on that part.
Right?
And we're just like, oh, now we know where Hedwig is at this
Angela
point.
knew what... I mean, like, we should be. Angela knew what she was doing, so I think she doth protesteth too much. Right? Like, she clearly knew how to express that kind of affection for someone, but hey, whatever. It's gay now. It's been gay for a while, but I think this is the first time that it's been on screen. If you count a black screen with white text on it. Anyway, bye everyone.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.